Hi guys, welcome to another video. Hope you're all keeping well. Now for this video, I'd like to review a horror movie that I watched just last night, and one which I bought yesterday whilst out shopping in Liverpool from HMV. Now that movie was made in 2022, and that movie is called The Curse of Rosalie. Now, before I say anything further about the movie and give you my thoughts on it as a whole, I'll just give you a little bit of background on the movie, just in case you haven't seen it. Now, The Curse of Rosalie is a 2022 American occult horror. It was directed by Will Clipstein, and it stars Irene Redard, Madeline McGraw, and Will Clipstein himself. Now, it's also known as The Harbinger. Well, as per usual, if you're not familiar with the movie, I'll just read you the blurb at the back of this DVD, and then I'll go on to give you my thoughts on the story as a whole. Okay, right. So this has been described as a fun and scary ride, devilishly good. Now, a family on the run from their own dark secrets, Daniel and Teresa Snyder flee to a small Midwestern town, determined to find peace for their troubled young daughter, Rosalie. However, soon after they arrive, their neighbours begin to die in mysterious and seemingly paranormal circumstances. Feeling an evil entity has pursued them and possessed Rosalie, the desperate parents seek advice from Native American seer and spiritual healer Floating Hawk, who forewarns that only death can save their daughter. Now, with the body count rising and suspicions escalating, the Snyders prepare for battle, willing to do whatever it takes to protect their family. So there you go, guys. That's the synopsis for this 2022 American supernatural horror, The Curse of Rosalie. Love that cover, guys, yeah. And there's some stills from the movie. There's Rosalie herself. Very, very creepy kid, yeah. Very sinister. And there's the family there, the mum and dad. Yeah, yeah. All right then, guys. I'll give you my thoughts on the movie as a whole now. Yeah, it was a pretty enjoyable supernatural thriller with some good creepy moments. But unfortunately, guys, I've just a couple of little issues with the ending, but I won't go any further into that in case you haven't seen the movie. Suffice to say, I did find the ending a bit of a letdown. Yeah, but that's just my opinion, as I always say. Yeah. Okay, now this is a movie that has many layers, and offers quite it does offer quite a complex storyline. You've got to listen very carefully to every single word what the character utters, because they have a tendency, well, some of them do, to speak very, very quickly and low. And this is something that I always hate in horror movies, and that, when the characters speak very quick and low. But as I say, you've got to really listen, because it's a very, very complex story. You've got to really strain your ears to follow the story and that, to wonder what the hell's going on. Yeah. So yeah, this is a movie that has many layers. Suicide, Satanism, ghosts, old American Indian legends, and even reincarnation. Now, the titular Rosalie of the movie, played brilliantly, by Madeline McGraw, delivers an excellent performance as the tragically cursed little girl who seems destined to be horribly put to death by her father in order to lift this nameless curse that seems to be hanging over the family. So you've got that tension and that, very, very edgy stuff, because he doesn't want to kill his daughter and that, but there doesn't seem to be another alternative, according to this seer, he consult. There doesn't seem to be any way out of him, killing his daughter, in order to lift this horrendous curse, as I say, which seems to spark from some sort of sinister business deal, and, that went wrong, probably involving, old Nick himself, the devil. So yeah, so you've got that aspect, and Rosalie, like in one or two scenes, she's reminiscent of Regan McNeil from the Exorcist, because in one scene she creeps into her parents' bedroom, in the early hours and that, and she utters this creepy, ominous monologue, that sends shivers, down the spines of an open mouth, mum and dad, yeah. And then there's the part where she's at a funeral and she says, like, she can see the dead man burning in hell. So yeah, well, yeah, she's a real creepy kid, this girl, she really is, and but by the same token, she's got that she's got that, like, sort of, you can't have sort of like feel for her a little bit, because she's a cute little girl, but she's also got this sinister, a sinister aspect to her, and it seems to stem from some sort of, as I say, this sort of like a business deal that went wrong. It seems sort of like it had sort of like satanic undertones, yeah. But that's all I'm going to say about that part for the moment, so, in case you haven't seen it yet. But all the cast are very good in this, guys. The mum and dad, the woman who plays the seer, and even the supporting cast, all the townsfolk and that, and they're quite dodgy as well, because you don't know if they're in on it and that. They seem a bit too friendly and that. Very very reminiscent of the people in Rosemary's Baby. They're very very hospitable and that. They seem too good to be true. So you've got that aspect to it, yeah. And there's also a lot of references to the Harbinger in this movie. Now, this is explained fully in the movie if you don't know what a Harbinger is. But in a nutshell, it's basically kind of a symbol of impending doom. So I'll leave it at there, yeah. So, but yeah, as I say, it's a pretty good, American supernatural movie. But as I say, like, the ending did, for me anyway, did leave a lot to be desired. I also like the elderly man. He wore like a hat and that, and he kept popping up all the time. He seemed to be haunting the dad, in the movie and that, because that one minute he'd be there outside the house, or elsewhere, and next minute he'd be gone, in the blink of an eye. So you don't really know what his involvement is in that. You don't know if he's an emissary of the devil, an emissary of God, and that. So you've got that mystery. But this is a movie, guys, that does have a lot of mystery to it, and you've got like another thing I didn't like about it, guys. There's a couple of flashbacks to the Middle Ages and that, and I don't like flashbacks in my movies, so that sort of like jarred it a little bit for me. I do not like, I've said this loads of times in previous videos, I do not like flashbacks in my movies, because it's sort of like, I think it's sort of like jerks the plot and that, and it slows things down. But of course, if they're relevant to the story, I suppose you've got to have them and that. But yeah, as I say, it was pretty enjoyable in that. But it's not a great movie. It's by no stretch of the imagination is it an Omen, is it an Exorcist. But if you're the type of person that like those movies, I think you might derive some enjoyment from the Curse of Rosalie. I must say, guys, as well, the picture quality on this DVD is absolutely pristine. You'd actually think you were watching a Blu-ray movie. It's that good. But I believe this movie is available on Blu-ray. But I think it's in I think it's under the sort of title of The Harbinger, and I think you can get it from Amazon Germany. But I got this in HMV in Liverpool yesterday. I thought I'd give it a try. It only cost me £7 and that, But yeah, I say I enjoyed it and that. It was just the ending, that let it down a bit, guys, and that, and the scenes involving the suicides as well, they're quite disturbing and that, especially the opening scene that involves a suicide and that, somebody hanging themselves. But it all revolves around the theme of Satanism, as I say, reincarnation, curses, suicide, all tied into this Harbinger. You've got like this guy in the town and that, he befriends the family, and he's got all these artifacts and that. And, the dad, like, the main protagonist of that, he starts questioning, well, what are these for? What's this for? And that. And he's sort of like, the guy's he's a little bit, you don't really know about the guy, because one minute he's serious, and because, that's this, that has this case, and the next minute he's laughing about it and saying, you don't believe all that cock and bull and that, so you don't really know about him, really. You don't know what to make of that character. But yeah, there's a lot of mystery to this movie, guys. Very, very complex story. And as I say, you really got to sort of strain your ears to listen to every single word. Well, especially the parents, what they're saying and that. Otherwise, you're gonna lose track of the story. I did find myself getting a bit sidetracked a couple of times. But some of the incidents in this movie and that. But yeah, as I say, it's not a bad little American supernatural movie. It's not great. And I don't think I'll be watching it again. No, it's just the one watch for me, guys. Yeah. Alright then, guys, on to a rating now for The Curse of Rosalie. Yeah, I think I'll give it 7 out of 10. It's lost a couple of points for that hokey ending. Very, very hokey ending. But having said that, that's just my opinion. You might like it, but I found it a bit almost laughable, to be honest, especially, well, I won't tell you what happens. I'll let you see it for yourself, yeah. But the ending, it did let it down and that, yeah. I love the scenes of the ghosts as well. There's some scenes as well as this mysterious man in the hat appearing and Rosalie's creepy demeanour. There's also ghostly scenes as well. We see a couple of spectres popping up and that. So you see, you've got that ghostly element as well. But yeah, it's a typical American average supernatural thriller. The Curse of Rosalie, nothing great. So don't go into it expecting great things. It's just something to watch in that. And out about it. Well, it's just over an hour and a half actually in duration. But yeah, okay then, guys. Yeah, all right. So that concludes my review of the American supernatural thriller, The Curse of Rosalie. Have you seen The Curse of Rosalie? What did you think of it? Yeah, by all means, let me know in the comments down below. I'm always interested to hear what you think of movies and that. Yeah, but yeah, as I say, it's not a great movie, guys, but it's not a bad movie. Average movie. Yeah. All right then, guys. That concludes my review of The Curse of Rosalie. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you're all managing to stay cool in this bloody hot weather. Yeah. All right then, guys. That's it. I'll be back again very, very soon with another video. Have a nice bank holiday. Bye for now. Take care.